Good evening. Where are we? Hello. Hi, give me 1 sec. There you go. Oh, what a long day. Not to worry. This time I am going to finish the advanced hook patterns module, which is cool. I tried to finish it last week and got completely stuck on the control props. I have a reasonable idea of how it works now. It was actually... Let me try and reacclimatize. What did we have? Let's see. Interestingly, they should both be moving. What have I done? That should be state done. Leave, and then should that be false? I think that was just to trigger the warnings. Yeah, there we go. So if I open this in its own page and I open the dev tools, these should now work. Let's start with a Boolean value. So we're going from a controlled component to an uncontrolled. What? Cool. Just gonna reset that. It should default to false. Oh, it's the reset. Silly. That's why it's freaking out. Cool. Because we started at false and then we're setting this to undefined. So we're changing from a controlled to an uncontrolled. And if I did this and then did this, then we reset it. Oh, let's refresh. My dog is going bananas. 1 second. Crazy dog. Right. So we've changed from an uncontrolled to a controlled there. That makes sense because we started with undefined and then we moved to here. So that part was working. This was the extra credit number 2, I believe here. Had a controlled state warning. And we were doing that somewhere. This for now. Pretty sure it was in this use toggle. Yeah, here we go. Here's the 2 warnings. So this is actually slightly different than the actual solution. And I'm pretty sure I left it last time and I wasn't sure why. So, sure there's somewhere in the docs. Yeah. Here it is. So this is how I would normally get the previous value. So that's how we're working out if it's changing between controlled and uncontrolled, because we're comparing the current value to the previous version of it. So normally we would define a ref, and then after this is returned, this effect will run, and it will set the previous one to the current count. And the next time it comes in, count will have changed, but this value will still hold the previous value. Which is what I did here. I created a ref here, and I defaulted it to whether it was controlled or not. So I know it's controlled if the first value that's passed through here isn't null or undefined, then I can say that it's being controlled, otherwise it's not. And use toggle gets called inside the toggle component. So I'm passing this as controlled value, and that is coming from this on value, which this stage will default to false because we no longer need those errors to fire. Actually, let's leave it as undefined, because now we know we're moving from an uncontrolled to a controlled one whenever the toggle changes. Interestingly, do they need to live inside the effect? What if I move these out? Let's open this up just so you can see my dev tools. Cool, so the warning triggers, that's cool. Seems okay so far. And then if I flip that around, control to uncontrolled, that's cool. And then, ooh. There we go. Cool, so the warnings are firing, that's good. So there was, I'm just going to mute this and jump to, actually I can just grab the solution instead of watching this. So let's open this up and go to 6 extra 2. So interestingly, the warnings are inside the effect. So let's put them back in. I'm gonna ask, I'll ask Kent as next office hours why that needs to be in there. So this was Kent's implementation. Kind of the same, where we define a ref and we initialize it with whether the value that is passed in as the on value to the use toggle, we can determine whether it's controlled or not. So we initialize the ref's current value with that value, which makes sense. What I don't get is this is deconstructed to current to on was controlled. But at no point is this value updated. So on the docs, we set the current value to be this value. Okay, let's see if it works. I'm pretty sure it actually didn't work for me last time. It's just a more verbose warning here. Let's keep this. So let's change this to this. And this isn't required. I changed the name of this just because I find it easier to read. And then, nice. I'm just going to keep this. I'm not going to deconstruct this for now because I find it easier to read. Is uncontrolled and was uncontrolled. And then let's take that out. So that should be the same thing. Oh, it's working as I would expect. Let's change from uncontrolled to controlled. And then let's do the other way. So it works. I have no idea why it works. And that's changing from controlled to uncontrolled. Alright, so it's still working, which I suppose is a good thing. So why? This value changes, but I was under the impression this was. Let me look at React use ref. Yeah, see, that's the initial value. So this should be the first value that's pushed through to this. So I don't get how this value updates. I mean, it works. I'm not that fussed. And also, my previous implementation also worked. I mean, I suppose my previous implementation was just adding this. Was the only difference. This is what I would normally do. But it works even when it's commented out. So how does this get updated with the value of this? Don't know. Ask get. Let's go back. Cool. Well, I suppose since both of them work, then I can just move on to the next extra credit. Maybe I'm just spending too much time sweating it. Try not to sweat the small stuff. I would just like to know. Alright, let's just make sure this is in a usable state. Cool, that's just a custom toggle. I can just leave that there. Cool, I'm gonna leave that there. Oh well, not entirely because I still need to finish the exercise. Extract warnings to a custom hook. Okay, both of these warnings could be useful anywhere. So let's go ahead and make a custom hook for them. Shout out to the Reach UI team for the implementation of use controlled switch warning. That's cool. Oh, this is basically, okay, that kind of looks like the answer. So I'll leave that for now. Okay, so I need to extract it. I think the first thing I'm going to do is move this up. Let's put them side by side. Let's put this in its own effect as well. Really need to get a snippet made for that. So we need this as read only. And we can tell our basket. Thank you for the follow. Hold on. Is that is that Ricardo? Hey man. I think I could just bump this down. And then let's make this is uncontrolled. I shouldn't need this. And the on changes pass through. So I should only need this value in the dependency. Cool. So if I flick back to the code, I look at my toggle and I don't pass an on change. I provided a value prop without an on change handler, so it will be read only. That's cool. That makes sense. Cool. I'm just sort of leaving mental notes here. I'll pick that up. Hey, Ricardo. Are you good? Okay, so what do I need to do? I need to extract these out into their own custom hook. Let's call it something terrible, like use warnings. Just to get us started, and then I always just like to return null. Alright, so Ah, thank you for the follow, Kieran. Is it Kieran? Hey, Barbara. Fully vexed. Okay, so if I'm gonna have this, I need to return 3 things. It's read only. Let's just call this was controlled. I don't need to declare. Is the API for this function. I'm going to provide a value. Which is going to be this. Yeah, so I'm going to need to take a value here. Does the exercise say? Both of these warnings could be useful anywhere, so let's go ahead and make a custom hook for them. Maybe I'll take a slight peek at this to see what's coming back here. I was kind of looking to see how it would actually be used. So it doesn't actually return anything, that's what I was curious about. So we're going to determine whether or not it's controlled and warn them if it changes unexpectedly. So let's ignore the read only for now. Actually, both of these warnings. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just both of these. Yeah, use controlled switch. So I'm just going to ignore read only for just now. Let's create a ref. And initially set it to the value. And then let's do an effect. With a callback function and a dependency array. And inside of here, I'm going to set this value. I'm going to grab these warnings. Okay, so we can say it was controlled. Okay, so we're, this always fucks with my head. We're going from controlled, it was controlled, so it was previously controlled and is now uncontrolled. So it's going from Boolean, which is controlled, to undefined, or null. So if value equals null or undefined, and previous value dot current is truthy. We could just do that, I suppose, because we'll never know. We don't know. It could be a string, so we'll say that. And then this would be the opposite way around, right? So if it was uncontrolled, then value would be previous value ref dot current. Oh, what am I doing? Love it. Oh yeah. I'll get rid of that. So if it can I remove that for now? I think I can. To spell. That's missing. That's probably why it's not included. When would be the value of on be null? If it was originally, oh, I hope I haven't. Let me just get rid of this because it's a flaming pile of garbage at the moment. So on would be null. Do I still have this open? Say it was initial. The whole point of building this toggle is you should be able to have an uncontrolled version of the toggle and a controlled version. So you see this works by clicking the top one, and it also works by clicking the bottom one. But if I was to, so I have this both on, right? And that's what we're using for the on value. If I was to initialize that as undefined and actually save it, nothing will happen, of course. There we go. Losing my mind there, sorry. So because we're initializing it as undefined, and then on the toggle change we're setting it to a Boolean value, so we're going from undefined to a Boolean value, so we're going from uncontrolled to controlled, so it then throws this warning. Does that answer your question? I'll take silence as yes. So we have used warnings here. Just want to look at those React docs again. React, get previous value. I hate that I have to go through a log rocket blog to get to what I want every time. Yeah, so it's in the effect he's setting it. So, or they are setting it, I should say. I mean, let's add it for now. Should be okay. And then let's comment this out. Ah, yeah, it was, sorry. Yeah, I did wonder if that's what you were meaning. Yeah, so I'm using double equals here. It's maybe just the ligatures may be a little bit confusing. I'm saying if it's double equals. So that... what's the best way to show this? Oop. So that's true. That's also true. I actually wonder, is that because they're an object? That's an object. Oh, undefined's undefined, right? Yes. But generally that's how you would denote whether it's null or undefined. Yeah, sorry. I love them. In fact, the only reason I really love the ligatures is just for the arrows. I think the arrows look badass. Okay, where was I? I've got the use warnings. Curious to see. Oh, I don't actually want to return anything here. Ah, no, this won't work because I'm not actually calling it. Interestingly, I imagine I... This is where I've always struggled with hooks. I find it much easier to digest hooks if I'm saying, say I'm getting values back from here. Yeah, I declare it like this, and then I can deconstruct this how I like it, and then I can get values from it. But I find it strange when you only call the function. Hello, dog. So I'm just going to pass this value in. Fail fast, right? I just want to see it break. Okay, that's expected. Did I put that back when I was finished with it? Okay, so both of these are on. And I want to go from an uncontrolled to a controlled state. Damn. Okay. So use warnings is at least called, and then throw a debugger in here. That makes sense. Would it actually be null? I can see what's wrong already. should be a double anyway. Let's just step through this. Okay, the fact that that's firing so many times makes me worried. But the warning did fire, so I'm gonna take this debugger out. Goes to the console, delete this, and let's reset. That's weird. How was I getting that to fire before? So it was firing with the debugger. Oh, this module has melted my brain. Actually, was uncontrolled is the one I want to fire here, right? Okay. So the previous was false, false. The current is false. Was uncontrolled, false. That's cool. That makes sense. That's what I would expect. And if I turn this on, yeah, these are just, that's why. Because that should say false and that should say true, which would make this true. Does that need to go below the warnings? Let me just reset that as expected. False. Interesting. So false, true. So at this point, the condition is correct. Well, at least at this point in the code, these values are correct. This is incorrect. Because this will be declared and then the effect will run. Just for sanity, I'm just going to put was controlled in here. Let's just reset it. False, false, false. So these are correct. I just need to move these inside the effect. Oh, nice. Which means I wouldn't need to specify that, to be fair. This feels spicy. Reset. It never logged the case where value is null or undefined. That would be this, right? So value is null or undefined. Ah, I see what you mean. Oh, no, wait. Have I done this wrong? It was controlled. Maybe I've done this the wrong way around. Let's do it this way there. It was controlled if it was previously not, and it now is. And it was uncontrolled if the previous was null and the new one is not. You're never doing the transition controlled to uncontrolled. Am I not? Is that not controlled to uncontrolled? Is that not this one? Was controlled. So we can say the component was controlled if it was previously truthy in this instance, or a Boolean value. And the current value is either null or undefined. No? And the actual component, the component is always controlled. I don't think it is, because when I initialize state here, I'm not actually initializing it with a default value. So both on will be undefined to begin with, and then that toggle change will set this to a Boolean value. So it's changing from uncontrolled to controlled. Unless I'm missing something. I mean, clearly I'm missing something, otherwise it would be working. What I don't get is why my values here are correct. Can I log initial on? Sure. So... you mean this one? The both on? Or you want the actual initial underused toggle? That is clever. However, how did I get that to fire my warnings last time? That's still coming from the initial state. I mean, my implementation's probably wrong here, right? But I'm not even using the initial on here. I'm passing this on value to use warnings. Excuse the terrible name for the hook. Yeah, I'm passing this on value. Oh, it's because I'm alias. Oh. Silly. Silly. Because the idea is I shouldn't need to use any of these values. Good times. The naming on this exercise, because all of them are like somewhat related, on is just used in like 3 different ways. It's definitely thrown me a few times. That is sweet. And then of interest, previous, current, undefined to true. Cool. That's what we would want there, which shows it previously was uncontrolled. And then if I go here and I say let this initialize to false, and then swap it to undefined. Then we're going from controlled to uncontrolled. Boom, boom. Yes. Good shit. Thank you for rubber ducking that with me. You skipped the extra credits. Yeah, I kind of wish I had skipped the module because I failed miraculously at every hurdle on this one. Yeah, I've really struggled to wrap my head around this pattern. The rest of them make perfect sense now, but this one, there's just too much going on for my brain to process it. Let's clean this up. I shouldn't need this anymore. Shouldn't need that. Shouldn't need that. I suppose I could add this as well. I'll need to make sure. I could add this, but I'll need to make sure that the on change is a callback. How long have I got? It's 10 to 9. I'm gonna mess around with this for 10 more minutes, take a break, and then I'll come back and do the final warning in production one. What I'm curious of is I have this read-only warning, right? Actually, if I just grab the whole effect. Actually, I'll just grab that comment, and then that'll remind me to ask that. So we need an is read-only here. And we can say suppose if I declare this as a, then I wouldn't need to declare, yeah, that works, because then I never need to declare the on change in here. I only need this variable. So if I declare it outside of the effect, that might actually work. I kind of just rambled there, but hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. Where are we? So if I just remove this. No, I thought it would work. It's because thankfully we just put those handy warnings in. We provided a value prop without an on-change handler. That's sweet. Which means I no longer need this. Since I've got 5 minutes, I'm quickly going to watch the solution for this because I'm curious to see how this was actually implemented. So that's like a 5-minute video. I'm going to watch that and then I'm going to take a break until about 9:05, and then we can do the final exercise. Let me just fire that on, and I'll see you just after 9 o'clock. Okay, I'm back. What do we have? Don't want to take a lot of your attention, but how do you do the overlay on the video? It's actually pretty simple. It's not on Epic React. It's a really simple like scene in Streamlabs. I'm going to... There's one extra credit left. And once that extra credit is complete, then there should probably be about 20 minutes left. So I can show you how I've like put everything together if you're still around. Okay, don't warn in production. That's the solution, which I don't want. I think this is going to be quite a short one. Runtime warnings are helpful during development, but probably not useful in production. See if you can make this not warn in production. Okay, so we have these effects that are going to run. Oh, I can actually just only... Yeah, hold on. If process.env environment is production, or if it doesn't equal. Ah, can I not use that inside call conditionally? Okay. I need to always call the hook. I could cheat and say const. It shouldn't be there. It should be inside the hook itself. I'm guessing I can't conditionally wrap an effect. Didn't think so. So I wonder if I just grab this conditional. I just because then it's conditional again. It's not the end of the world if I do this, I suppose. So we can declare a variable here saying, is this production? It's prod.env. And then we can say if it was controlled and it's not prod. I always do that. I always forget to turn that off. Nice. I mean, that should fix it. I don't think that's the most glamorous way of doing that. It would work. This is only a 2-minute video, so I'm just going to quickly watch this and then see how Kent did it. All right. That's a little bit, I don't want to say disappointing, but that was a little bit winding. So the actual solution there was let's grab this. So this will freak. It's called conditionally, but because this value will never change unless it's in a different environment, like it won't change between renders, then we can actually just ignore this warning and only ever call it in production. But I like mine because it doesn't break the rules. It's just ugly as hell because any warning that we declared here, we would need to make sure that we weren't in a production environment, which is ugly as hell. But it works, and that is the end of that module, which I'm ecstatic about, because that was the most difficult one yet by far. I'm just going to listen to this fellow for 50 seconds and then I'll be right back. Hey, we're done. Save my certificate. Damn right. I never remember. Where do I save them? EpicReact, patterns, where are we? Certificates. Always important to celebrate the small things. Oh, I've just realized. No. Can't upload a PDF to Twitter. Make sense? Times. Alright, let's get rid of that. I am not going to start the React performance one tonight. Because that's a whole other ball game. It's nice to finish a module and just take a bit of time to decompress. I actually want to do a bit more reading into... Where was the previous one? Can I just jump back here? I would be in here, right? Yeah, I'm just going to bookmark this so I remember tomorrow morning to do a bit of reading. And then see how they implement that, because that's pretty cool. Cool. Ricardo, are you still here? You still watching? It's not. I'm just going to leave a comment and then I'll point them to the video. Cool. I mean, I finished that pretty early. I'm tempted just to finish it now, to be honest. A, because I'm pretty tired, and B, because I don't want to start a module. I'm going to leave it till past. And if anyone has any questions or anything, it's maybe a good time to answer them. And if not, I'm going to finish up at past. Just doing a little bit of housekeeping for the last 20-30 minutes. What have I got? Multiple entry points. So I did this. Kind of wish I put them all in one repo actually. So it should be good to go. I'm in React Performance. Let's go. Let's come out of here. Do that. Okay. What was first? React Fundamentals. What am I saying? Epic-React. Oh, that's cool. They've even got something in for changing the branch to main. Oh, I'm already on main. That's cool. I shouldn't need that get branch command, right? So I could just, oh, okay. So I don't actually need to create this. That's weird. Why do I need to do that? Silly. That's cool. How long have I got actually? 25 minutes. No. What was after the fundamentals? React hooks. I feel there's probably a way to do this from the terminal. Should really have been committing these as I go, but it's no real point, I suppose, if it's just me that's working on it. Hooks, fundamentals, advanced React. Advanced hooks, advanced patterns. Cool. There's the pins. These are all a bit stale. Oh, one remaining. Let's take off the fundamentals, I suppose. Cool. I mean, that's all in a pretty good state. I've got performance set up. Let's just put that back. Let's go into React performance. So that's, that should be good to go. And then, yes, I'm in here now. Okay, that should be good to go. So I'm going to finish up here for the evening, and I'll be back to start React performance on Tuesday of next week. And I'll be here from 8 to 10 o'clock as normal. But Thanks for following along, and I'll see you then.